Alright, what's up everybody? I'm DS Designs. Welcome to another tutorial on the channel. I've covered a couple tutorials in the past. I've done one about the bare basics of animation. I have also done another one about smoke trails. And also done another one about graphics placement. So welcome to the fourth tutorial on the channel. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Today is going to be about concussions. I'm conducting this tutorial solely because Josh refuses to do so. So, I guess I have to do it myself. That cheeky man just won't get to recording. So, I'm going to show you my method for concussions today. So, basically what we got here is a concussion sound effect. For you guys that don't know, I do use one concussion sound for my videos, duplicated many times, such as, I'll play a sample of it right now. So, that's duplicated over and over again to fit the pyro, for the concepts, and the animations. So we have a little bit of a setup right here. This is going to be our example that we're going to be using today. So we'll play it right now. So basically, we'll pretend that there's pyro to go along with this, and we want to make concussions for it, for our project. So basically what we have to do is take our audio files, render them as an MP3. I use the CD audio quality. We'll call this concussion tutorial. We'll render that. Shouldn't take very long at all. Then we'll open up Fireworks Simulator, start a brand new show with a black background. Alright, so now we're going to go and import our music. Alright, so now that we have imported our music, we can see right here that we have these little waveforms on the music line. So what we're going to do, we zoom in a little bit more and we can see where each of them hit. So the title is kind of blocking a little bit of the first part. We'll just have to go by ear on that, so we'll play it back. Alright, so basically to create the concussions, we want to go and add a single firework. And basically what I do for here is I add any type of mine that does not have any tails. We'll change the color to black. Hit OK, we'll place it down on the timeline. We'll drag it to the bottom of the video. And we're going to stagger it to the waveforms on the music. So obviously the first one started at the very first second, so we're going to drag it all the way to the beginning. Alright, so basically the way you want to do this, you want to keep repeating it and look for every single wavelength, the little spike on the music file. I'm going to copy and paste the single line over it so that it hits up and it syncs up to every little second. So I'll play it back. And basically it's as simple as that. Another note that should be mentioned, to get a realistic effect, go into preferences and make sure smoke is turned on. I recommend rendering it in 1080p. After that we're going to export the video and we'll wait for it to render. Alright, we'll save it to the desktop here, called Concussion. We can open the video. And we see that it is where we want it to be. So we're going to drag it into Vegas. Normally this would be above a stage, so we're going to go ahead and put in a stage just for reference. Alright, we're going to use the previous HD set for the pay-per-view. Just for no really reason. It was really the first one I saw, so we're just going to drag it in. And now we're going to unsolo it so we can see. We'll play our concussion video back in Vegas. One thing you probably want to do is delete the audio as well. Unless you would like to try and condense the tracks, but I like to keep the original. As you can see, we have our concussion synced up, and basically what we want to do here is make it a little bit bigger so we can see it, because it doesn't go up very high. Concussions are quite bigger, so I'd say this would be about a good size. We'll use a chroma key here, take the black off, bring the low threshold up just a little bit, bring the high back down, bring that down just a little bit more. I'd say that's pretty good. Alright, now we need to add a little bit of glow effect to it. What I usually do is just put on a regular glow. Let's see, we'll do it about this much, bring the intensity down a little bit. We'll probably give it a little color corrector. You can use color balance or color corrector. Turn it orange a little bit, just a little bit, so you get a little tiny bit of it. I think that is good. We'll drag it up to the top of the stage here. We get one. And you can move it around a little bit. Sometimes concussions are in different spots. We can just play with it for however much we want. I'd probably leave it right there. I'd say that looks good. Another way of doing concussions, if you guys have noticed in the WrestleMania 27 I just released, basically the concussions are not made in FW Sim. They're different. I'll pop the WM27 video up there so you guys can get an example of what I'm talking about. Alright, so as you guys can see here, the concussions are vastly different. They take up pretty much a whole big portion, and there's no real fire effect like the ones we just did. Basically what this is that the concussions were a lot bigger here for the WrestleMania. So basically what these are is taking the stage itself and cropping out a portion using the anchor creation tool right here, and just cropping out a portion going behind the signs, going around and all that. It's saving that as an image. Obviously that's a very poor job of doing that, but I'm just showing for example. Basically what we did is just crop around that and put it over the stage. And we also added the cookie cutter effect. Basically I used a square and put a lot of feather on it as well, so that it what it does is that it takes the regular lighting on it and it blends it in with the dark, so it looks like it's got some light to it. So basically this is the statistics for what I did for the cookie cutter. And that's basically it. I really like the way it turned out. It was probably my first time doing a concussion this way, and I really do like it. So if the animation you're creating has big concussions like this, I do recommend using this tactic because it looks really nice. I really do like the way it came out, but if you're just doing a regular one, I'd say stick with these concussions right here. Once again, not the pro way to do it, probably just the way that I do it. I'm not trying to say that it's right or it's correct or anything of that nature. That's just my way. Hopefully you guys have learned a thing or two. And yeah, that'll conclude it for this tutorial. If you guys have any suggestions for tutorial, be sure to drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments as well. I will do my best to answer them. And until next time, take care everyone.